Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing phase. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's my problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Well, Lion King may have made it famous, but Australians have long prided themselves as being the Hakuna Matata nation and the true no worries people. A land where no worries mate is a national turn of phrase. Problem is though, it's simply not true. We might say no worries, even no worries mate, but the fact is all of us do. And if it wasn't true before, and it was, it's certainly true now. As a recent McCrindle survey report found, the top reported emotion response during COVID-19 for Australians is what? For Gen Z, most of you, anxious. Gen Y, the rest of you, anxious. Gen X, likes of me, anxious. Baby boomers, also anxious. In fact, the only age not to have anxious as the top emotion response were those over 75, and what did they have? First, vulnerable, then anxious. You see, we say no worries, but worry we do. About health and homes and hopes and dreams. And when this is done, we'll worry then too. About our past or our present or our future. About those we love or just the things we have. And the question is, where do you go with all that worry? What do you need to know and hear with all that worry you feel? Well, in Luke chapter 12 in the Bible, Jesus gives the answer. In a story all about the flowers of the field and the birds of the air and how you're more important even than each of those, Jesus says what we need to hear with all our worries and fears. What's that? He says, Hakuna Matata. Even before Simba did. He says, don't worry, mate. Before Australia did. And why? Well, because he says, there is a God who is stronger than you. And if you belong to him, he will care for you. And according to Jesus, that's what we need to hear with all this worry we feel. Perhaps especially now. One of the things my kids love doing is watching old family movies of a kind of younger, cuter version of them. And there's this one where I'm there with my kids and I'm holding the camera on some tiny theme park train. And suddenly there's a noise, whoo, a whistle from the train. And you can see it scare my little girl there right in front of the camera. You can actually see her worry rise. And then it happens again. And you know what happens next? She leaps forward toward the camera, which means she leaps on top of me. And why? Well, it's because in that moment, in all that worry, she knew what she needed most. What's that? It was someone else who was stronger than her. Someone else who would care for her. And see, that's Jesus' point in the story we just heard. That's what we need too with all that worry we feel. We need a God who is stronger than us. We need a God who will care for us. And Jesus says, if we belong to him, that's what we have in him. And so Jesus says, belong to him. So Jesus says, leap to him. To the God who proved his strength and proved his care by giving his son to die for you. You see, as we live in this world with all its worry and all its fears, it turned out Lion King Simba was right. Hakuna Matata really is a wonderful phrase when you know the one who makes it true for you. When you know the one who in his strength and in his care we can take our worries to. And I don't know about you, but I agree with Jesus. That's what we need to hear right now. And that's what we find in him.